Rolling. Today I'm going to talk about the godfather of Scottish graffiti, MakOne. It's Sunday, there's a video due out tomorrow. I didn't really have a plan for what I was doing this week and the days just kept going by. And then a lovely gentleman walked into the gallery with this. And I was like, oh, what's this? And he told me that he had some old graff photos from about 87, I think, 1987. South side of Glasgow. And it features MakOne quite a lot, which is very, very cool. This is pretty sick. It reminds me of Scotland Street that I was just in, but it's not. And so it's not all MakOne, but MakOne is the artist that I know best out of these photos. Pretty cool archive collection. But if anybody knows who these people are, it'd be really cool. It's pretty incredible because there's really, really old photos like this from MakOne. And it's just really, really cool. It's amazing to see. Another person that features quite predominantly is PTA, which I think stands for part-time artist, which I kind of love. I often feel like I'm a part-time artist. It's just really cool to see, man. 1987. This character's pretty mad. There's definitely like a kind of style. Maybe I will just do it like this because that's pretty cool, man. I quite like the look of that. These wee ones, man. So sick. But it's just pretty crazy to see. It's just mad to see that this is early MakOne graffiti. There's a really, really incredible one in here. Let me try and find it. That one's pretty cool. For Sophie, maybe, or Sode, from Chap. I'm not actually sure if that says for Sophie. And then Kieran was laughing yesterday at this one because this has got some big heat action on the go. 1987. There's nothing original in the world. But check this. So class. This one. This one's got a bit of steez to it as well. Wheels, maybe. Very sick. And then this one says, "You've seen a piece now." Pretty class. King Mac, and it's funny because this has got to be like early paintings, man. But he's manifesting being a king from the get-go, which he did. He put in so much work and became one of the best writers in Scotland. King Mac. So it was a real treat to see these because when I was growing up, Mac and As1 were some of the first people that I saw painting down the tunnels. I really like that one as well, that's cool. I'm not sure, I think that's PTA again maybe. This one was amazing. That's got to be super, super early. It's very cool. Does anybody know if PTA kept painting? Is PTA someone that has continued on, or was PTA just about back then and has stopped? That's quite cool. There's like a wee map there as well. But this was pretty amazing. This is so sick. Aye, it's so cool. Dedicated to all those... I can't see. I think it says dedicated to all those who moved in the criminal element. Dedicated to all those who moved in the criminal element. No chance, man. When was that? Very, very cool. And that's me back to the start. So these photos inspired me to try and chat about MakOne today. And just kind of reflect back, maybe. Where did it all begin? What came first? I was thinking about Duncan Coming. So I'm going to try and record my screen. How do you do that? Screen record on a Mac. Is that a thing? I feel as though it must be. Oh, Command Shift 5. Aye, that sounds cool. Right, I think I'm recording now. Let me double check. Aye, cool, it says it's recording. So what I want to look at, I want to look at Duncan Coming archive. Was it duncancoming.com? What was it, man? Duncan Coming what? duncancoming.org maybe? Seems like his blog's still there, but what was the actual website, man? duncancoming.org. How do you do, like, Wayback Machine? Is that a thing? This might be a terrible video if I can't find it. duncancoming.org. We're loading. We're loading on the Wayback Machine. Let's see. This doesn't look... This is Duncan Coming, who is a councillor. The Scottish Liberal Democrats was... Surely that's not our Duncan Coming. That would be really funny if it was. duncancoming.com. Let's just say it's .co.uk maybe? That would probably be more obvious. Aye, why did I think it was fucking... Oh, here we go. Look at all that goodness there. Hell yeah. Oops. So we want to go way back. When did Duncan Coming launch? The end of 2000 by the looks of things. Start of 2001. February the 1st, 2001 is the first snapshot. Let's check it out. This was gold, man. Honestly, this was incredible. Oh, is it gonna load the photos? Show all 93 photos. I don't think it's gonna show them. Let's go back. I kind of just want to see, right, so I think I was probably going on about 2005, right? So let's see, there's like, so let's just click on one of these dates. Right, this is what it looked like. Now I remember it. Yes, amazing. We're in. So if we search Mac in here, we can select artist, right? So Duncan was pure on it, right? Duncan was amazing and he labelled everything. And this is why this is such a sick website, because you can actually go in and actually check it out. So there's Ethel of like insane Ethel fame. There's Elf, LK, there's Gaz. There's like so many different artists. Chemo, that would be quite cool to check out. Laps, that would also be amazing to check out. But we're looking for MakOne, which is there. So hopefully this will work. How does this website work, man? This is class. We're able to just use it. This page is unavailable for archiving. Nightmare. Right, well that's okay. We don't need to do that. We just need to go to photos. It's just a snapshot. But here we go, look at all these photos. If I was just to set it to all photos, I wonder what that would do. Nah, it's not happening either. I can go on a different page, maybe. So that's pretty cool. I did really just want to show you the website. There was a forum on here as well, which you can click here. And this is where everybody kind of hung about. And look at this, look at the forum. And that's amazing, look. So you've got a monster colour MakOne green. That is so sick. So that's a perfect example of this. So Monster Colours was a company based in Glasgow, started by Darrow, and I think maybe Gaz was involved in starting it as well. So Monster Colours had their own types of colours, like most paint brands do, but obviously because it was based in Glasgow, they were able to give people like Mac their own colours. So MakOne green, that's class. But it's really funny, right? Just like, as an aside, the forum, the different places on the forum, you can have beef, graffiti, website, announcements, miscellaneous, frequently asked questions, pictures. And so it's like beef, have you got beef? Post in here. That is so funny. Graffiti, anything graffiti related. Website, any comments about the website, if you want to tell Duncan to fix something. Announcements, messages and announcements, miscellaneous, frequently asked questions, pictures, post your flicks here. I wonder what happens if I click the pictures. Whoa, it's fully still into it, man. This is crazy. You can still go in. There's a name that I recognise, Soul Lyrics. But this is also really funny, right? Because things repeat, basically. Things repeat all the time. And there is a name there that says El Santo. So someone that was posting on the forum is called El Santo. And there's actually a boy now that writes El Santo. I've got some of his artwork in my studio, which is funny. It might just be Santo, but that's funny. Was El Santo elf? He's got a cool avatar. I wonder. Let's do some investigation. El Santo has posted a theatre piece. I think that is elf, actually. The second piece in a long time. We'll have tags all over it by Monday morning, so I thought I'd post it. Roulette and Dimes turned out some amazing pieces too. We'll post them when I get flicks tomorrow. As far as I can see, El Santo is elf. That's cool. See, everybody had an alias on the forum. I'm sorry, elf, if I'm baiting you up. Jam1, looking for feedback, 2005. And that's quite funny, because when I was 15, that's what I was writing. That's a shame, doesn't it come up? I wonder what that was. Registered the 3rd of April 2005. I wonder if that was me, that's funny. 12 posts. Find all posts by user. The Wayback Machine's failing me. I feel as though, is there a way for me just to type in this and see if it lets me do it? Nah, that's really annoying. So Duncan Coming, unfortunately Duncan has taken down the website basically. For a while it was there and you could still access it, but he's now just rerouted everything to his own blog, which is fair enough. But it was pretty cool as an archive to kind of have that. Mr. Wonka is another name that I recognise from back then. I think I always thought that was Elf. Wonka.com. 756 posts. People were into it, man. People were really, really into the... people were into the forum so much, man. So I was chatting recently about this forum because I was thinking that I've came off Instagram, and one of the reasons I think Instagram is kind of mental is because you go on and you want to see the stuff that you're interested in. So like for me, I'm interested in street art and graffiti, and that's what I want to see. Predominantly, I just want to see art, but on social media, you're forced to look at art and street art and graffiti and all the stuff you're interested in amongst everything else. All this other stuff that you're not actually interested in, but you can't help but looking at because it's there and it's put in front of you. And I was describing it like, imagine reading a book or imagine reading a graff magazine. I've got some graphitisms out there. I'm going to go and get them because there's definitely some MakOne pieces in them as well. Imagine you go and you buy a book or you buy a magazine and you're flicking through and you're just loving all the stuff that's inside it, but then every like third page, there's just a picture of something random that you didn't want to see. It would be fucking really annoying and it would make your brain feel pretty fried, I think. I don't think it would be good because that's a pretty disjointed and scatterbrained way to consume something that you're interested in. Like, I wouldn't be able to hack that if I was reading a book, if every third page was a different book. It's just nuts. It's just a different kettle of fish, basically, and it's just a mad way to consume information or stuff that you're interested in. And it's funny because obviously I was going to say content, but it's creativity is what I want, Joanne. I want to consume creativity. I want to like... It's funny how maybe that's an interesting thing because you don't consume a book, you read a book, Joanne. You don't consume art, you look at art, you appreciate it. But I think it's dead difficult not to get kind of trapped in that cycle. And as I've said before, I played that game and I enjoyed playing the game for most of it, but I also really, really hated the fact I was just scrolling my life away. I'm now returning to the source, which is the Duncan Coming Graffiti forum, and I'm looking through old threads. Something that I should say, which is pretty cool, is a while ago, I think I reached out to Duncan and I basically said, oh, I'd really like to be able to see the forum. It was online, but now it's not online, but it seems yet. And he actually just gave me access to all the photos from it. So what I will do now is I will plug in my hard drive and instead of going on Wayback Machine, we can just flick through some photos from Duncan Cumming's website, which should be sick. Now, it's a wee bit mental because all the photos are just sitting there. It's actually a wee bit difficult to sort through them. But I think at one point I did put stuff that I was interested in into a folder called Glasgow Graff to post. So this was stuff that I kind of recognised and I remembered. So I think this is probably a good place to start. Should I just make this video a bit more broad? Does it have to be a bit MakOne? There's a lot of cool stuff in here. Maybe I'll make another video. Nah, fuck it, let's just... there's too many photos almost, man. Let's stick to MakOne. It's going to be a long video if I don't stick to MakOne. If you're into this video, if you're into seeing the archive stuff, then let me know. So this one's pretty cool. This is actually down near the Marriott Hotel, I think. And I think it was called the Arts Centre. And it's actually just opened back up as studios now. It's at the top of Washington Street, as far as I can remember. This one was a pure screamer. So this one's pretty sick, right? Because it is a wall between As1 and MakOne. FCK was their crew. And you can see there's Scan, Chemo, Dos, Sumo, Insa, Aztec, Shims, Bush, maybe? I think it says Bush, Dicer, Choose, Temper, Foxy. And it's funny because Foxy works at the art school, so big ups Foxy. To be honest, big ups everybody, man. Like, Scan, absolute legend. We've had him in a few shows in the gallery now, which is nice. Chemo is also a pure incredible artist, so sick. Dos is still out painting. Sumo just like absolutely rinses characters, it's amazing. Insa has obviously then went on to become one of the biggest graffiti writers in the whole entire world. Aztec, London legend, just ultimate like skills. Shims, I think is from the north of England. Maybe passed away, I'm not sure. Bush, I'm not actually sure. Dicer, I'm sure was like a Southside graff writer. Choose, maybe passed away as well, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I've saw RIP Choose somewhere. And then Temper, I actually haven't heard of. But this is one of the first paintings that I ever saw down the tunnels. I went down to the tunnels when I was like 12 years old and it blew my mind. This piece was on one side and then there was a grey piece on the other side. And it just totally blew my mind. It was amazing. I'm actually just going to go and quickly grab the graphitism because I'm sure there's a photo of it in that graphitism. I'm a mad hoarder. So, I'm hoping it's in this box, but I think it might be in another one. Got Moses and Taps book. International top sprayer. Just sick. Speaking of Insa, that's a Juxtapose magazine. So I think this is the wrong box. Someone sold me this Futura book down the Barras. They're like, I think you'll like this. And they were correct, I did. Now give me 2 seconds, I'll go and get the other box. Oh, fucking hell. Right, got a wee teddy that somebody gave me at the Barras. I've got a sprayer, a spray gun that Tommy Lydon got me. Oh, Tommy Lydon gave me. But this is the graphitism that I'm thinking about. I've mentioned it in a couple of videos before, but it is issue 31 of graphitism. It has Dalek in it, and I actually tagged it. I went to art school and I basically was like, look, I've been seeing these photos, or I've been interested in graffiti since I was like 12. And so that is the one that I've just been showing you. And so in here it actually says 2003. So I would have been 13, but I don't think that's right because I'm sure I saw these both at the same time. It's funny, they've actually got it totally wrong because it says As1 MakOne London, but it's not London. That's the tunnels because I can see an FBR tag there. In fact, I just know it, I've seen it, I fucking saw it with my own eyes. It blew my mind. So this is the one that I saw. And maybe for context actually, so let me tell you a wee story. I was 12 and me and my mates got told about this thing called the Terminator piece. And we were like, oh, let's go and see this Terminator piece because it sounded amazing. And we got on a bus for Paisley out towards the Braehead tunnels, and we got off the bus, we go down this wee bit, and we are greeted with the most incredible graffiti I'd ever seen in my life. I was 12, it blew my mind, and so we assumed that this was the Terminator piece because that's what we'd been told. And we were 12, so I don't think we really understood that graffiti gets painted over and things changed. But those grey pieces there from As1 and MakOne were what we saw. And it was just so good, man. It was incredible. And on the other side, it's like 2 walls facing each other. And those ones were on the other side. So you can imagine as 12-year-old boys how exciting that would have been and just how fucking life-changing it was. It was absolutely incredible. And so MakOne and AsOne have always been just such a big, big influence on the whole entire scene. And I think there's a lot of kind of arguments to be made for the dedication these guys were putting in back then. Because there wasn't really the internet then. This is like the birth of the internet. This is just starting to happen. So these guys have got this good. Basically, man, it's crazy when you think about it, right? So from these early photographs in '87, so where's that wee one that I was showing you? Because that one's probably the best example. Somebody just starting out. Aye, so going from this to then going to these, John. That's crazy. And I think for me, that's something so magical and amazing. I feel as though there's other photos as well. It's just like dedication, John. So that's cool. That's actually that same wall, which is cool to see. I think this is maybe a little bit older. But that's the same wall because you can see the moms up there and you can see the FBR and the ER. But I think this is at a later date. This piece here totally blew my mind. I remember it was under the motorway, so it's like under the M8. It was always kind of flooded. There was these big pillars. It just looked incredible, man. It was just such a magical space. I'll maybe try and find some photos from the tunnels just so you can get an idea of what it's actually like. But this piece, like, just popped. It was super, super dark and dingy, and these colours were just like so popping. And I remember, again, just being so young and just being like, what the fuck, man? This is wild. Like, this is mind-blowing stuff. And aye, it was just incredible. Stuff like that, man. Do you know what I mean? This Mac car piece. Kind of doing this sort of like 3D thing as well, which was really cool. They were able to just paint burners, but they were also able to do this kind of 3D graffiti, which was like a kind of big thing at the time. Aye, kind of like this as well. It was really cool. You obviously have like artists like Dime and Lumit and stuff like that, like these kind of German guys. But like, it's amazing. And I always think about like Estem when I see this stuff as well, because then Estem kind of started doing kind of similar stuff to this, but then kind of like deconstructed it even further. And I think this is Castle Wall maybe. And then this is actually Kelvin Bridge, which is really cool. So that used to get painted quite a lot as well. I wonder if I can find photos of this silver one. It's maybe AsOne. So that's very cool. This one's amazing as well. And I think, aye, as you can see, totally able to do blockbuster letters. Just like super, super skilled. Those letters have got like way more funk than most people's blockbusters. There's just like, aye, there's just such a bounce to them. There's just such a funk to them. Man, there's just loads of stuff. You could really like spend forever going through all these. Maybe I'll look in the actual folder. Aye, wow, sick. Also just amazing at characters as well. Aye, I mean, check that out, man. For a character, that's nuts, man. Amazing. And then these faces. And it's mad to see these faces as well. MakOne actually painted for an Irving Welsh movie. What one is it? The Acid House, is that what it's called? Irving Welsh Acid House. Let me see if I can find that. Irvine Welsh, Acid House, MakOne. Aye, so there you go, that's probably the best photo. Nah, surely not, let's find a better photo than that. It's so difficult, man. See, sometimes just try to find things on the internet now. I feel as though the internet's different now and it doesn't work the same way. I used to be able to just type shit in like that. I'll find it. Scottish Graffiti, shout outs to Vera. Wow, that's really cool. That's a super OG photo. I want to say that that's Mr. Bose, but maybe I'm wrong. If you or anybody you know is in this photo, let me know. But I would say that looks like Bose. Let me see, what's the comments saying on that? Ah, that's amazing. It says, that piece was for Sire 141 after he died. MakOne piece with Easy and Sace doing fill-in near Pollokshields train station. Some of those guys are in their 40s. So that's in 2009, so some of those guys are in their 50s now. Sace is actually my big homie and is always watching these videos, so shout out to Sace. It's very, very cool, man. I think there's something really beautiful. What? Oh, this is really cool. So this is a comment. I'm just getting distracted. So it says, I'm one of those guys in their 40s and I was the youngest in the crew at the time. No names, but some are now hitting 50. This was in 2017. Also, there was Two Tone Committee, one of the UK's finest Britcore hip-hop groups, Tech One, MC and Craigie. Can't remember or make out anyone else, as was pointed out. I'm old. As was pointed out, I'm old. Sace and Easy went on to become NT, an amazing funk style group. Two Tone and everyone else there were part of a larger collective known as Glasgow 141 Posse and also the Bench Collective. Sire, a DJ, was a founding member of the 141, formerly known as Criminal Element Posse. Yo. So, crazy. This is so fucking cool. I'm doing research live. Like, this is amazing. Because, remember earlier on, when I showed that photograph, and I was trying to read it, and I said, dedicated to all those who moved on the criminal element. Dedicated to all those who moved on the criminal element. Well, turns out, Sire, the DJ, what, man, this is so cool. So basically, Bench Collective and 141, formerly known as Criminal Element Posse. 141 is still around and active in the Scottish hip hop scene and is probably the oldest crew in Scotland. I'm a huge fan of like Mr. Bose and stuff like that. I've put their tunes in a few times. But this is really, really cool and it's connecting all these different dots that I didn't even really know existed. I was born in 1990, so this piece is older than me. But it's really, really cool to be able to kind of come back through the history. And it's really cool that these blogs still exist and people were commenting. Me and Sace have spoke about it quite a few times, that we'd love to do like a... Sace basically produced the Scottish hip hop documentary. So if you've not seen it, go and check it out, it's amazing. There's loads of old school people in it, and it would be really, really nice to somehow keep telling that story. Sace was kind of limited in what he was able to do with the documentary, but it would be really, really sick to see how the full kind of Scottish hip hop scene has kind of evolved and changed, and just like all the people and all the stories, and maybe kind of make some kind of map or family tree type thing would be really, really cool. Aye, this is sick, man. This is really cool. It's class to see. I'm glad that I came on this website again. This has kind of descended a wee bit away from MakOne, which I'm sorry about, but it's also pretty cool, and I guess you can't really maybe talk about MakOne without talking about everybody else, because Mak is such a big part of the scene. Aye, it's pretty amazing, so I think I was bound to go on these wee tangents, and I'm just scratching the surface. I'm intrigued to do more, and I'm intrigued to find out more about all this stuff. Somehow piece it together in some kind of digestible format, because I love being able to talk about it and I love being able to show people it, but it would be amazing to have some kind of book, zine, video, documentary, exhibition, something that kind of tells this full story. Aye, how class would that be? What do you call it? Like an oral history as well. I think it's really, really cool. Stephen, the guy that gave me these photos, he says he wasn't even that big of a part of it. He just has these photos. He was just about. And it's cool to think that there was all these people who were about and around at the time, and they all play their wee parts in the story, and they all hold this collective memory. And I think it's sad because with those people, these memories can come and go, and it would be cool to somehow make a sort of documentation of it. I think Os Gemios did a really, really cool thing in Brazil where they made a hip hop documentary. I think it's like a 4-part series on YouTube, which I've posted about before. And it's just really beautiful, and they interview all these characters for it, and maybe rather than going down this sort of mainstream media route, maybe there could be some way to kind of dig into this on a kind of YouTube level if people were interested in that. I don't really know how I'd go about that, but this stuff excites me and it gets me interested, basically. Do you know what I mean? I'm like into it. I like research and I like digging. And I think that's what it's about, isn't it? It's all about digging. It's the fucking most miserable day out there ever, man. It's mad. It's like a pure storm. Wow. But I think I've been doing this for a while now, man. I think I'm probably going to have to call it a day just because I need to do some painting for the show next week. But if you're watching this before Thursday, the 2nd of April, come along to the exhibition. It's Walls Have Eyes, curated by KMG. I'm going to have a painting in it. That painting up there, actually. And bunch of other artists. The show features Billy Colours, Cat Miko Gato, I'd never know how to pronounce that, I was so bad. Muldrows, me, Mr. Penfold, Pelican Baba, Prefab, Rue Art, Rowdy Unofficial, and the Skeleton Cardboard. So it should be a belter. Really excited to see all the work. I haven't actually saw all of it, but I've saw some of it. I saw Rue Art's the other day and Mr. Penfold's, and it got me heavy, heavy excited. Bye, come along. In fact, if the show's on, look at the website, find out what show's on. The website will tell you what show's on right now. If you're watching this video whenever, come to the gallery, come to Grateful Gallery. Thank you for joining me on this history tour of Scottish graffiti. Massive, massive shout outs to MakOne. I kind of feel as though I've not really done MakOne justice in this video. I'd probably like to show more, but time is of the essence. Let's keep it short and sweet. I'll maybe try and get an interview with MakOne one day. That would be amazing. I'd love to go through his archive. That would be too sick, man. Like, maybe we should do a retrospective show with MakOne in the gallery. That would be a dream come true, to be honest. Aye, it'd be really, really class. Much love. Grateful to be here. Peace. Yeah, boy. So after it being stormy all day, the sun has finally come out. I'm gonna have to be quick because I need to get in this window of opportunity to cycle home because it's been mental. But I just wanted to show you this. That's it, finished. It's far from perfect. I'm really quite unhappy with the text. I think I would do the text totally different next time. Thinking that I could maybe screen print the text on, that would be pretty sick. I feel as though that would elevate things and it would just make it a bit easier. Probably a bit of hassle kind of getting it squared up, but I quite like the idea of mixing those two things together. So if anybody's interested in this painting, it will be available at Walls Have Eyes, which opens on the 2nd of April. Grateful Gallery, 6 PM to 9 PM. Come along. Yeah, boy. And I've decided as well, I'm going to listen to my good friend Kieran Globell's advice. I'm going to document the exhibition this week, so that should be quite fun, and maybe give you an insight into what it's like to set up a show. It will basically just be Kieran doing all the work and me filming, so that should be fun. Peace.